Hello.
Hey.
All right.
Yay.
I'm using my new computer and I have no idea what I'm doing.
Hey, Kimberly.
Hello.
All right. Let me look at the time. All right. So it's 8:01. What I want to do is I want to start off by having everybody please use the chat to shout yourself out if you have hit your PRV goals for this month. And if you've had recruits this month, please shout yourself out because those are the two biggest contributors to your success of actually being able to promote to star by the end of this program, of course, is going to be whether or not you're recruiting and hitting your sales goals. So really, really proud of everybody who is still in the program and still making it this far. Unfortunately, we are going to lose some people, I think, after tonight. And that is unfortunate for this round, but just remember that it doesn't mean that you can't redo the program when it's offered again in the summer. So just so you know, the plans for this group is to do a drive to director program after this one completes. And then we will do another round of shooting for star for those that need it or new recruits that need it the next time around. So Shannon, I am loving your display back there. Girl, looking good. I love it.
I thought you were going to yell at me because I was drinking.
Oh no, girl, you do you.
I was like, oh my God.
No.
Oh, thanks. My little Valentine's decorations in there.
I love it. It's very cute. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and get started. As a reminder, there's just a few minutes left for people to join the call. And then after that, the room will be locked just so that we don't have distractions. So welcome to week 4 of our Shooting for Star program. I hope you guys are all feeling really good about where you're at and the growth that you've hopefully seen over the last month. And at the very least, what you are seeing for yourself as far as hopefully you're building confidence in your business and where you're at. And one of the things that we're going to talk about tonight actually is going to be, we're going to actually talk about scalable systems. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to just have a little chat about what a scalable system is. Hopefully you printed out the document that I posted a little while ago. If you did not see that yet or have not printed it yet, just go ahead and print it after this call because it will be part of our homework for this week. But scalable systems are going to be super important for your business. And one of the reasons being that a scalable system is actually going to keep you on track, right? So week after week, day after day, it'll keep you on track. By a show of hands, really quick, just show me how many of you feel like you know what you're supposed to be doing, but when it comes down to managing your time and managing your focus, you feel a little bit like you don't really know where to start, or you start working and maybe it doesn't go as well as you wanted it to. Right? So you get in your office or you get to your space and you start kind of squirreling, right? You go down a rabbit hole. Maybe you meant to go on Facebook and do some follow-ups or do something like that. And you start scrolling and the next thing you know, 2 hours has gone by and you've used up all of your work time and you no longer have time to do anything, right? What I'm saying makes sense? Okay. So a scalable system is designed to help you avoid those moments. Something that we learned at World Tour this time around was this quote that stuck with me forever, which was stop managing your time and start managing your focus. And that's kind of what we're going to build on today. So we all are busy. you guys know by now, if you've been working with me directly for a while, that one of my biggest pet peeves ever is when somebody tells me that they are really busy or that they don't have time. We're all busy. None of us have extra time. We have to find time and we have to be creative with the time. Okay, so we have to be really, really intentional about that time when we are using it. So, looking at um, where we're at with our time is important. So, the scalable system actually will help you manage day to day. So, if you printed this out, we're just going to go through this. This is the one that I use. This is what keeps me on track. And especially when I was not working from home, when I was at the office and I had less and less time to actually be able to get stuff done. Because now we don't have the commute time, right? So that's a little bit of extra time, even if you are still working full time from home. So this is how I would get things done. Even if I only had a half an hour to work my business or an hour to work my business that day, this is how I did it. Okay. No one is going to just hand you extra time on a silver platter. You've got to make the time. So if that means that you wake up at 5:30 instead of 6 o'clock, you got to get up at 5:30 instead of 6 o'clock. If it means you stay up for an hour later than when your kids go to bed, stay up an hour later. If it means working through your lunch break because you have a normal 9 to 5 job or a full-time job outside of Scentsy, use your lunch break to do some of the things in the system. Okay. But most people will admit that they get things done better when they can check it off a list. Okay. Now, I shared this one with you, not so that you can go print this off and try to do what I do every day. What my business looks like with a group of over 200 people and what your business looks like are going to be two totally different things. So some of this stuff won't apply to you. Take what does apply to you, take the idea and come up with your own. So we're just going to go through this. So how this scalable system works, and I think it's a good format, even if your days don't look like this, is at the top of this sheet here. Okay, I'm just going to pull Friday because I printed these back to back. So if I pull any other day, you're not gonna be able to see it. Friday, I have every single Friday across 4 weeks, week 1, 2, 3, and 4. I have these tasks that I do each Friday. Then by each week, I have week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. So in week 1, I will do these tasks plus these tasks. Okay. Week 2, I do these tasks plus these tasks and so forth. Okay. So it follows it. These get done every week. These get done on the week that it says. So some of these things, what does it look like? So for me on Monday is the day that I focus on the team. It's a day that I will look and follow up on any text messages, emails, things that I haven't answered. I participate in the leadership call that's for directors and above that Scentsy offers on Mondays at 11. I will send out any prizes, incentives, any happy mail, any of that stuff. I don't really schedule my posts so much anymore. But at the beginning, when I created this system, when I started doing the system, I would schedule my posts for the whole week for the team. The reason I don't do that anymore is one, I'm not the only one running the page anymore. And two, it just doesn't make sense for where I'm at in my business. Like I like to share with you guys when I'm working, how I'm working it in real time. But this might be something good for you when you're starting off. And then any welcome mail to my new team members. Okay, so I do that all on the same day of the week so that I'm not, if I have a team member join on Wednesday, I'm not stopping what I'm doing to send something on Wednesday or send on Thursday. That's how you get disorganized. Okay, that's how you squirrel. That's how you get all over the place. It's how you're not going to be able to remember. But if you do everything on the same day of the week, it helps everything. Okay. And then the same thing with the weekly updates. So Monday is my team day. Tuesday is my customer day. And you can go through the list. I won't read them all off, but like you can go through the list of what that looks like. Wednesday is my recruiting day. That's the day that I heavily focus on conversations with people that I want to sponsor. I update my dream team list. I do all of that kind of stuff. But it's also, if you look through the list, there's things like take inventory of things that you need. So we just all did possibility packets, right? So you would take inventory on that day of, am I running low on possibility packets? Do I need to make some more? Do I need to order certain things like join brochures or whatever it is for those possibility packets? You would do all that stuff on Wednesday rather than trying to squirrel all week long and try to think about all the things you need to do. This breaks it down day by day. And then Thursdays, I have prep day. What does prep day mean? Prep day means anything that I have to create, bulk sampling. I will do the plan out for like this call, right? So this is when I write this call. I will, anything that I have to create. This is days, like if I don't have anything else going on, I might create graphics in Canva for my business or start to write out like a plan for how I want to plan my stories. Like all of that stuff is intentional. I plan out what I'm going to share on social media. That's a prep day. Things like party packs, any of the things that you have to actually physically prepare or create, this is a great day to do it on Thursdays. And then Friday is just a general business day. That's a day when I will do any follow-ups. I will log my tax receipts. I will go through and clean my office, reorganize, restock things. That's just a general business day. So that's kind of a catch-all day. Notice I don't have anything written out for Saturdays or Sundays. Other than this call, I try to keep one day a week and for my family where I try not to work. Okay. So that is really important in your business as you're really kind of kicking it up for yourself. You want to realize that you're going to have kind of boundaries and you're going to have a balance. Yes, there is a lot of sacrifice that comes early in your business. If you want long-term success, you're going to have to sacrifice, especially in the beginning. And we're going to talk about that more in a minute. But it doesn't mean that you don't have balance. We don't want you burning out. A lot of burnout is, I really believe, comes from not being organized, not having a system that tells you what you should be doing on what day and how to work it. Most of us have always had other jobs, right? You have a supervisor who tells you what to do. You have tasks, you have deliverables, you have things that you need to do, and you know when you're supposed to do it and how you're supposed to do it. No matter what your job is, there are processes in place for how you get your work done. Welcome to the world of being an entrepreneur. There is no system in place that's a one size fits all. This system isn't even a one size fits all. Having a system is what is going to get you to be organized, to feel like you have your head on straight, to feel like you aren't always behind. If you know that Monday you're focusing on your new teammates, some of you recruited your first teammates ever this month, congratulations. You have to train those people now. You have to make sure they know what they're doing. Monday is your day to follow up with them. You don't need to be in their face all day long, but on Mondays, you should be following up with them. Hey, how's it going? How you doing? Have you checked out your first things first checklist? That's the day that you do that. Don't worry about focusing on all the customer stuff on Monday. Focus on your teams. Now, you might be thinking, okay, well, tomorrow's Monday. I want to focus on my teams, but we're launching a new catalog. I got to place orders. Isn't that a customer thing? Yes, of course. You're going to have some fluctuation in your business. You're going to have some things that come up that you have to do, right? If a team member of mine is having a problem entering an order or an issue with a customer or whatever it is, and they message me on Tuesday, I'm not going to say, I'll get back to you next Monday. That's not how this works. But many of us say, oh, I'd like to work my business today, but I don't have anything to do. I don't have any customer orders to put in, so I'm not going to work my business. No, boo-boo chicken. You have stuff to do. You just need to do it. You need to know what you got to do. So what I want you to do, this is part of your homework, okay, is to go through this list that I gave you. Literally with a pen, cross out what doesn't apply. Okay, there's going to be things that don't apply. There's going to be things like I have on here Scentiversary cards and postcards, right? That's something I'm supposed to be doing tomorrow. prepare. They're already done. I did them yesterday. So now I just got to put the labels on them and get them in the mail. When you have time, when you feel motivated to work, I'm not saying don't work, right? If you have extra time, Saturday you've got more time, the work week's going to be busy, so you'd rather do it Saturday than staying up all night Sunday after you get home from work and put the kids to bed. Make this work for you. But the point is to have something in place so that when life does get crazy, when you only have a half an hour a day, and it's the half an hour that you made because you either woke up early or stayed up late, you know the things that you can do. Does that make sense? That it's not about this is the only thing. This isn't, you're not boxed into this. But this is meant to give you a stepping stone. This is meant to give you a place to land, a landing spot, so that you're not feeling overwhelmed with all of the things, right? Anybody that's ever tried to lose weight ever, okay, I've tried 100 times. You start a diet and you say, I got to lose 50 pounds. Well, shit, that sounds like a lot of weight. And how am I going to, I'm not going to lose 50 pounds. So I'm just going to eat pizza today. I can't lose it all today. So I'm just not going to lose anything. And I'm just going to eat pizza. It's not how you do it, my friends. You focus on today and you focus on what you're eating and drinking today. That's how people have success, or so I've heard. So what I want you to realize is that you don't need to do it all today. So much failure comes from wanting to be great. Let me repeat that. So much failure comes from wanting to be great. What do I mean by that? I mean that you get on the Ascension page, not if I'm making sense, it doesn't have to be right away. You get on the Ascension page and you see VD doing this, you see me doing this, you see Megan doing this, you see another consultant just shared that they're doing something else and it's great and you want to go run and do it. You're going to go out and buy the clamshells and all the wax because you're going to make sample packs too. And you buy all this stuff and you want to do all these things and you haven't done the business basics, but you think that because somebody else is doing this stuff, it makes you successful. And so you're going to go out and do that. But then what happens is the stuff comes in and you got busy or you got behind on something else. So you don't actually end up doing it. And you don't actually end up putting it to work. So all you've done is waste money, waste time. And now you feel bad because you set yourself up for failure instead of focusing on things that you could do, things that you know you could do well. So one of the things that I'm going to share today in our group or tonight when we get off this call is a boss up, I should have pulled it, a boss up card. And it's like boss up business basics or whatever. And there's 3 different categories. One is customer service, one is recruiting and sponsoring, and another category there, I think, is just your general business. And what I want you to do is I want you to make an intention. I want you to take that list and I want you to pick 2 to 3 things from every category. Only 2 to 3. That's it. And I want you to only focus on doing those things really well. I want you to stop focusing on all the extra fluff. And I want you to focus on choosing things that you know you can be consistent with and that you know that you will commit to for the next 90 days. I am asking you to commit to something for longer than this program will even be in effect. And the reason why I'm doing that again is a 90-day cycle in this business. So what you implement today, you're not going to even see the fruits of for the next 90 days. So those of you that feel like you're having success from the posts that you've made this last week or this last month, you haven't even skinned the top of it yet. You haven't even scratched the surface. You will see the true results of that in about 2 to 3 months. From being consistent from this point on is when you're going to see those results. And that's what the scalable system is all about. The scalable system is to help you stay consistent. The list is to help you be consistent. so that instead of focusing on all the things you're ever going to see, you focus on a few things. Does that make sense? Okay. And I'm going to pause and see if anybody has any questions.
Joe, I have a
Jennifer-
question.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Jennifer
no,
has
no.
a Jennifer has
ahead.
a question in the chat. I was just saying. Go ahead.
Okay. Go ahead, Amanda.
All right, so just a quick question about that 90-day cycle and what I implement today, and then I'll get the results in 2 to 3 months. I'm kind of worried now because I really did just start working like my business the way that, we really should be. And by the grace of God, like I just threw it out there, and Jackie was like, yeah, let's do it. And then Rachel came to me about it. So I don't know if I'm going to get lucky again this month, but I'm kind of concerned now. So I'll touch base. Maybe I'll reach out to like fellow team members and I'll ask them like in regards to that, because I definitely don't want to, fall out of this shooting star program, but that's a little scary if it's the 90 days and then 2 to 3 months I'll see the results, because I am literally planting seeds right now. Like I'm having lunch with a girl tomorrow. So hopefully, but we'll see what happens. So I want to say thank you for that tidbit, but if you could maybe show or share like a tip for that,
Mhm.
where we can maybe hopefully get somebody to also join this month, that would be fabulous.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, yeah, no, great question. Okay. So I want to say two things. The first is that that's a general rule or a general kind of analysis of what's happened overall in people's businesses. Some people do have very quick start success and they will see immediate results, right? But what we say is we often compare it to the day you plant the seed is not the day you eat the fruit, right? So don't let it scare you. Know that you are still making progress in your business. You and I have talked about this. You were one that recruited 2 people, not one person. You recruited 2 this month, and you hadn't recruited at all before then. So it's a fantastic thing. Oh, and both of those recruits came today. So you made sure you hit your milestones. And it's funny, this is the same kind of setup as accelerated leadership. So when you guys move up in Scentsy in your title, I believe it's at superstar consultant, might have moved to director, you'll be able to participate in accelerated leadership. It's a program that's offered by Scentsy. When you get to that point, I highly recommend that you do it, because there is something about knowing I have to hit these things that gets you moving. Like we all know that we're supposed to do it, but when somebody's tracking whether or not you're doing it, when you know that your participation in a program depends on it, I don't know, it affects you. It moves you differently, right? So there's a powerful thing there. I don't want anyone, Amanda included, I don't want anyone to worry today about what tomorrow brings for this program. I want you to seriously spend your time focusing on today's meeting, this week's tasks, and take it step by step, because that's where the success of the program is coming from, honestly, is that you're laser focused on this one thing week over week over week. Now, with that in mind, I do want to say a couple of things. I want to say, first of all, that the requirements for the program were $500 this month, a recruit, showing up for the calls, and the assignments. Now, some of you might be feeling some sort of way about things right now, that maybe you're kicking yourself in the butt because you missed an assignment or you missed a call and you wasted a pass on those things. And now you're sitting here and maybe you're struggling on the recruiting part of it or the PRV part of it. And that's where it all plays into part of what I should be doing when I should be doing it. Please, for the rest of the program, while you're in it, don't waste your passes on things like this call or the homework. because the other two requirements are much harder, right? The reason why there are passes is because life happens. But the reason why there's only two is because you're only going to get to that next level. You're only going to hit star if you're consistent in your business. If you're doing the things that you need to be doing in order to be consistent in your business. Okay? Promotions don't just show up because they show up. So, with that in mind, I want you to just stay focused on that. The PRV requirement is going to go up. So starting tomorrow, your PRV goes up to $1,000 for the month of February. So it was 500 this month. It's going up to 1,000 for the month of February. It's a brand new catalog season. Okay, we have a new catalog. There's lots of ways to get your $1,000. Remember that one party a month is an average of 500. Get 2 parties. Do your follow-ups. Make sure your customers know that there's a new catalog. However you market that is up to you, but just know that there is opportunity here for you to get $1,000. Many of you hit $1,000 this month. So know that you can do it. Now I want to talk about the passes. If you have already used up 2 passes, you're out of passes. The next time you miss something, you're going to drop out of the program. If you've already hit 3 and you're on this call, it's because I'm removing people tonight from the program. Plus, you have time tonight, if it's a PRV issue or a recruiting issue, follow up with people. But I'm going to throw in a curveball here, okay? Ready for it? If you recruit 2 people in February instead of your 1, it won't count towards your March recruit, but it will take away a pass. Okay? So if you recruit 2 people in February, it will remove a pass. So if you've used a pass on something already, or you didn't hit a recruit this month, it'll wipe your slate clean. Okay? So with that in mind, anybody that is on their 3rd pass tonight, that it stayed with the program this long, I'm not going to go back and reinstate people that dropped out, but people that are still on the program this month, you will get an opportunity to keep your spot by earning it. So focus on your recruiting. Okay. One more side note, if for whatever reason you do have to drop out of it, remember that these are on YouTube. So you could follow along. If it meant something to you for your business and not for just simply graduating from the program, they are posted to YouTube every week so that people can watch them on the replay for those that have excused absences. Okay. I do want to go back really quick. Well, before I go back to Jennifer's question, let me ask, does anybody have any questions on the requirements or where we're at with any of this? No? Okay. All right. So hopefully that makes you feel a little better, that you have an opportunity to get rid of some of these passes. And we're going to go from there. All right. So Jennifer had a question and she said she is a nurse who works 12-hour shifts with a variable schedule every week. Any tips on how to incorporate the system into that? Yes. It's a great question, but Jennifer, I think that you are a prime candidate for why a scalable system is important, because this scalable system tells me what I need to do on Mondays, but it doesn't say I have to do it at Mondays at noon, right? A lot of these things can be done at whatever time I want them to be done at, right? You can follow up with team member texts, emails, whatever, almost from anywhere you're at, right? You don't have to be at your office in front of your desk. We have smartphones and we can work from those. Now, I'm not saying to be doing it while you're with a patient, but if you're on a break or, on your way, on your way home, you can have a phone call depending on the time of day if it's appropriate. but these things can fit into whatever your schedule is. And like I said, you don't have to have it set in stone. One of the things that is super helpful, and I have it on my list of things to talk about today, is to set business hours. Okay. I'm going to be the first one to tell you that I am not great at this. I'm just not great at this. I'm kind of an insomniac. I am up, like I'm not going back to bed. And so if I have a message from somebody or whatever, I will answer it. But you have to protect your time and you have to be okay with setting hours. If you do nothing else, set aside a specific time every single week for your family. Set aside a time every single week for your spouse, your significant other, where you shut everything else off and you're just going to do whatever you're going to do. Family game night, movie, whatever. Because while there is sacrifice in this business, especially when you're first starting, it's not worth it if it's going to cost you everything, right? You have to remember why you're doing this. Many of us, you might not be doing this because of finances. You might not be doing this simply because you need to or even want to make a certain amount of money. But I can probably argue that most people do want more freedom. And with money comes freedom. So, how you work your business and how successful you become with your business ultimately is going to determine what you can do. So, whether or not you want to go and buy a brand new car is not my concern, but maybe you want more money because you want to be able to have less working hours. You don't want to have to work in an office as many hours. Maybe you want more time to, give to charity. You want to be able to volunteer more, or you want to be able to tithe at your parish, or whatever it is that you need some more income to do that. It doesn't matter what the reason is, but I think we all have a reason, and that goes back to your why, right? We started this program talking about a why. It's never too often to reevaluate that and to really think about what this business could bring for you. So, one of the other things that I will say is that time is money. We've all heard this, right? Time is a very valuable commodity, and your time is valuable. There is a dollar amount on your time. My dad used to tell me all the time when I was in college, especially, and I would foolishly spend money. Whenever I wanted something that was outside of my price range or my budget or whatever, my dad would always say, how many hours will you have to work in order to pay for that? Okay. So he would always say that to me. He would say, Johanna, if you, let's say you want $100 purse and you make $10 an hour before taxes, you're going to have to work for more than 10 hours to be able to afford that purse. That changes your perspective on things. When you think about how long you're going to have to work for something, it changes your perspective. Now, here's the flip side of that, though. So many people will go to college for 4 years. They will invest 4 years of their time into an education. They will go to college for 4 years. They will study. They will work their butts off in order to graduate with a degree in whatever field they chose. Oftentimes, they're also having to work some kind of job to be able to make ends meet, to be able to pay their bills while they're in college, right? And then they graduate. Let's say you go to school to be a teacher. Just going to throw that out there. You go to school to be a teacher. You hope when you graduate, you're going to get a good job at a good school that pays you what you're worth as an entry-level teacher. But you also have a mountain of debt to pay off. Most people graduate college with a mountain of debt. What if you took that same approach, that same 4-year sacrifice, studying, putting in the long hours, preparing, working your job, but all the time you are actually getting paid for that work? When you have a direct sales business and you're trying to get it off the ground, I promise you that if you put in 4 years of hard work, sacrifice, and worked your business intentionally, you're not going to be graduating with debt. You're going to be so much further along in your business, and you're going to have a successful business to show for it. We have to change how we look at this opportunity, and we have to change how we look at how we're spending our time. It's not about a discipline. You shouldn't have to say, oh, I have to do that. I have to do customer follow-up. I have to package up these orders and deliver them. Change how you say it. Change your narrative. I get to package up customer orders today. I get to enter these orders today. I get to wake up at 2 in the morning when we launch a product. Because those things are going to add up to your success. Those things are going to ultimately pay off in the long run. What you make today for packaging up orders, what you make today for doing party packs is not going to be the same amount of money that you make in 3 years for doing those same exact tasks. Okay? If you are a team of you, or you're a team of maybe 3 people, and you're lucky your people are active right now, what you're making every month is a lot less than what you'll be making in 3 years if you stay the course. So therefore, the same tasks, I still do party packs. I still do Facebook parties. I still have recruiting conversations. I recruited 3 this month. My PRV is at 2,400. I'm still doing the work right there along with you, but I get paid more for that work now because I've built a successful business, and it'll never stop. I could be an SSD with 2,000 people on my team. From my lips to God's ears, I will still do the work. It doesn't stop. It's just I'll get paid more for doing it. And you'll be able to decide later how you work. You always have to have some sort of income coming in. But the beauty about this is you get to decide today what it's going to be. When we say push club, when we say promote the club, it's because that's reoccurring PRV. So would you rather have your PRV coming in a few months from club subscriptions that join club, or do you want to have to still keep chasing those parties every single month? Take care of your customers today. Make sure you fit them into your schedule to follow up. Take care of those people. Take care of your team members so you're retaining them, so that you're not having to worry so far later about trying to get new people all the time, right? So that's what I want you guys to realize, please, that your time is valuable, that your time is worth money, but that value on your time is going to change the more your business grows. Same tasks, different payment, but you determine what that payment's going to be by how you spend your time now. How organized you are with your time, how disciplined you are with your time. You don't lack time, you lack discipline. Honestly, we have to find the time. We have to make the time, but it is there. I don't have any more hours in the day than you do. Johanna Gaines doesn't have any more hours in her day than I do. We just use our time differently. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to free up the fluff for income producing activities, and you're going to pick 2 to 3 income producing activities from each category from a list I'm going to share with you that you're going to focus on for the next 90 days. That's homework assignment number 1. How you're going to track that homework assignment is you're going to look at the list, and by next Saturday, you're going to say, my tasks are, and you're going to list them. My task for recruiting, my task for customer service, and you're going to put it out there. Okay. 2 to 3 from each category. That's going to hold you accountable. Okay. Make sure you're doing it. Focus on 3 and do them well. Then you're going to implement a system. So I want you to share your system now, guys. If I see you share this with check marks on it, I'm gonna lose my mind. Please don't do this. Use what you are going to do, okay? Don't decide you're gonna start sending out Scentiversary cards because it's on my list. So that's what you're gonna do. Make a scalable system with the things that you are already doing, but you need to organize. Okay? And adding those few things that we talked about you adding, right? The 2 to 3 things from every category. So you're gonna do that. So you're gonna do this and you're gonna take a picture of it. The other thing that's not directly related to this, but kind of, and hear me out, is I'm going to share with you guys a list, a sheet that you can do. We've talked before about you tracking your monthly numbers. Talked about that when we talked about your follow-up system, right? But now in February, I want you to really track your daily numbers. And you're gonna see that if you are a team of you or a team of a few, you're not gonna see a huge jump day to day. That's okay. But I'm gonna share with you a tracker sheet. It's actually the one that Scentsy includes in their planner, which is a great one. You can punch it, put it in your planner, whatever you wanna do, put it in your follow-up system, however you wanna do it. Or if you're using your calendar slots like I do, that's fine too. However you want to track your numbers, I don't care. But I want you tracking your PRV, your TWV, and your active frontline every single day. Every single day. And the reason is when we look back in a couple of months on this, on when you put discipline into your time management, when you managed your focus instead of managing your time, did it pay off? Are you seeing a steady increase? And when you have extra time in your day, okay, if you don't have a team yet or don't have a big team, so you don't need a whole day devoted to that, focus on those income producing activities. Fill your time in with income producing activities, not fluff, and focus on trying to make a sale a day. I don't care if it's a cent circle, but if you focus on making a sale a day, you will see an increase in your PRV. That's how you're going to make it to your $1,000 this coming month. Okay, you've got to see it going. I don't want you to ever compare to anybody else. We've talked about this. I don't want you even comparing to each other. When you see the homework feed, I don't want you saying, oh, her scalable system is prettier than mine. Who cares? I don't care if you write it down in a notebook on loose leaf paper. I don't really care. As long as you have something that you're abiding by. Stop comparing. We're not going to do that anymore. Stop comparing. Focus on you and you only. And your daily tracking of your numbers is going to help you do that, because you're going to track all the month of February. And then come March, on the 5th of March, you can look back to the 5th of February and see, am I, Johanna Luna, doing better March 5th than I was February 5th? And that is how you're going to track progress, my friends. Okay. I also want you to write down when we have a launch. Okay. So right next to all your numbers for that day, if we launch, you know, I don't know, whatever, we will launch a Little Mermaid collection. I want you to write it down that we launched the Little Mermaid collection on this day, so that you know the reason for your jump. So that when you're comparing yourself, if we had a launch on February 5th and it was an awesome launch that bumped up your numbers, and then March 5th, your numbers are lower, you have a reason for why. You're not just getting down on yourself for no reason. That's smart business. That's keeping front of mind what's important and putting a measurable with the numbers here. You're looking at the reason for that measurable. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. Does anyone have any questions? We're all good? Are we feeling nervous? There's a lot less questions this week. I'm trying to figure out why.
You said we can replay this, correct, on the YouTube?
Yes.
Okay, because I don't know if you want to go through the list just one more time, but just a little bit slower so I could write it down. But it was you were talking about track your daily numbers and that you wanted me to do the active frontline and what else?
Okay, so I want you to look at this and create your own scalable system. That's the most important homework for this week. So I want you to look at your scalable system. I want you to create your own. So whether you type it out in Word, whether you do an Excel spreadsheet, whatever it is, and then share a picture of your scalable system so that I know it's done. And then you're going to track your numbers, but that's for you. Like, I'm not going to be paying attention to whether or not you're tracking your numbers. Okay. And then, yeah, that's basically it. This is the most important thing right here. Okay. Is your scalable system. You're welcome. And if you could set business hours for yourself, you know, if you can get yourself ahead that way and set business hours, by all means, it's only going to help you. The sooner you can do that, especially as you're starting to grow a team, you know, this is going to be a thing where I say, do as I say, not as I do, because I don't follow my own advice. You guys know I'm up at all hours of the night and I will answer whenever I feel like it. But I also give myself grace that if I cannot answer somebody for whatever reason at the time that they're doing it, it's okay to let people sit on red. There are no wax emergencies. Okay. All right. Well, with that said, if no one has any other questions, I'm going to give you guys 10 minutes back in your day because I know some of you are going to be waking up early and I know it's been a long weekend. But I appreciate you guys for all the work that you did this month. You guys did really, really great. And I hope you feel really good about where you're at in your business from the program. Okay. All righty. Well, have a good night, everyone.
Thank you.